So not every flight is always about going somewhere. Today I'm here with Alex, and we're gonna take this Piper Lance up for a little test flight.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
Alright.
So welcome aboard, everybody. We're here with Alex, and we're gonna take a nice little flight. We're gonna climb up to 10,000 feet, is it, Alex?
Correct.
And we're going to do a little check on, you just put a new fuel nozzle?
Fuel injector.
Fuel
on
injector. Number two. So we're going to make sure that the levels are what they're expecting it to be, bringing everything a little more even. Something that at some point I probably need to start paying a little more attention to as well, now that I'm past my break-in, to make these engines run finer and smoother.
We'll give ground a call. Lance and ground. Good morning, Lance 38674 is at Delta 4 for a northbound PIPER departure with India.
38674, runway 31, taxi at Delta 4, Delta Bravo, cross runway 6.
So Alex, you have your commercial, your multi, your instrument.
Correct. Yep.
So what are you looking to do? You're looking to go and fly for the airlines? You're looking to fly privately, corporately? What are you looking to do?
I want to do a private corporate route. The private jets have always attracted me. The airline life, I might try it one day, but right now my plan is to do corporate, but as we know, plans change.
Plans do change. Well, it's a good goal. It's a good route. It's definitely a nice lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can be a little, you gotta be a little more flexible than having a set schedule in an airline, but you don't have to see the same airports over and over again. So, like anything, there's pros and cons, right?
Correct. And my instructor, he's now working for Republic. He's never doing something different. He's always doing Indiana to Denver or to Jacksonville, but...
Now you did your training, most of your training here on the field at St. Augustine?
Correct. I did private instrument commercial single here in St. Augustine, and then I went over to Jacksonville Executive at Craig to do my multi-engine commercial. I did it in the summers in between college and while I was doing my bachelor's in chemistry. I don't know why I did chemistry, but I did.
Start your taxi, turn left.
Well, I guess you want to know how the fuel works in the airplanes, right? Is that?
Thermodynamics, aircraft skins is inorganic chemistry. I was known as the aviation nerd in college.
See, that's funny because I would think you're more in aviation world. They would say you're the chemistry nerd in flight training.
Yep, everyone says I'm too smart to be a pilot.
Are you ever too smart to be a pilot? Yeah, probably. If you're smart, you wouldn't be a pilot, right?
Correct.
No, that's my passion. It's my love. You know what?
There's something about going to the flight line every morning and...
I wouldn't give up. I've been to the point where I had to consider giving up flying, and yeah, it's just now I own an airplane.
No, exactly. Once you become an airplane owner, everything changes.
Yeah.
St. Augustine Tower, Lance 38674, swing short 31 at Bravo 6, ready northbound VFR departure.
38674, St. Augustine Tower, turn right on course, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Runway 31, clear for takeoff, 38674. Alright, mixture spread. Lights are on, field pumps on, flaps are set to 10 degrees. Final looks clear, both ways.
You are clear, right?
Alright, this is 31 on the DG.
I see 31 up ahead.
Fully advanced power. Pressure temperatures are good in the green, airspeed's building. 31 on the pavement. There's 70. Rotate. Tap the brakes. Take the flaps out. That's about my point of usable runway. We'll go gear up. Gears up.
Got a little JPI over there.
We got a JPI, it's got our fuel remaining on board from what we set in earlier. 500 feet, we'll pull the power back. They're nice to your engine when you're an airplane owner.
Oh yeah. What do you climb at 25 square?
Yes. Alright. This is where it gets boring. Let's set the heading bug.
Ah, same autopilot as me. Century 3.
Yep. We'll climb out in pitch mode here too. Don't want to drop on you.
Now do you have ADS-B in on here?
Correct. We do. So, if we zoom out, we got a couple people there. You gotta be within the 20-mile map to be able to see their actual altitude.
Yeah, on the Abaddon it's 40 miles you got.
If you connect your iPad to here with Bluetooth, you also get traffic weather on your iPad. That's nice, but...
What app do you use?
Just ForeFlight.
ForeFlight.
It's easy.
Oh yeah.
But you got weather here, you got some terrain there. I like the 530. If we really wanted to, we could just...
Fine.
We'll see a 3674. It's a horrible call sign.
You can change it, you know.
Oh yeah, we can.
I need to take you flying in the Baron and let you play with the 550. You'll stop saying how good the 530 is. I promise you.
Alright, so our climb checklist is complete. It's the landing light fuel pump. Gears up. Flaps are up. For you viewers out there, if you ask for the JFA when you're in the Jacksonville airspace, it's the just flying around, and they'll give you traffic advisories. It's a good tool.
Ah, that's nice to know.
They'll give you a squawk code starting at 0 and 4.
Do you lean on climb?
We do.
And how do you do it?
I'm gonna come over here to my EGTs. I'm gonna look at my fuel flow. Our number 2's been running the hottest, so I can pull it on back here. I usually try and shoot for around the upper 1200s on the climb.
So one thing you can do, no matter where you are, after you take off, if you go and look at your EGT right after takeoff, whatever the EGT is, then continue to bring it back in the climb to match whatever it was when you took off.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, typically it's around 1350. Is usually where I'll bring it back to.
Yeah, we'll bring it back to 1380 once we get up there, and then we'll do our hottest cylinder off of that, and we'll basically cross-check everything.
But I asked Continental, I'm like, so, you know, what's the proper way to lean and climb? And that was their suggestion.
That's a good suggestion, yeah.
Just take a look over at it and then maintain that throughout the climb.
Jack's approach, lands 38674.
Number 38674, Jack.
38674 is a Piper Lance PA-32, approximately 10 miles to the north of St. Augustine. Request the JFA up to 10,000.
November 674, sub 0421, maintain VFR.
0241, VFR 38674. 04 for the JFA.
That's awesome. That is a great local knowledge right there.
Oh yeah. We actually had
674 radar contact, 10 northwest St. Augustine, altimeter 299.6, the altitude.
299.6 passing through 4,800 or 3,800 for 10,000. So when we go cross country in this airplane, we usually do either 10,000, 11,000. Sometimes if they need us higher, we'll go to 12. So that's why I want to go up there and see what our EGTs and fuel flow should be before we actually start doing some serious cross countries in this airplane.
Yeah, that's kind of how I fly the Baron. If I'm going any distance, for me it's usually 10 or 11, and then depending on the weather, it'll climb accordingly.
Yeah.
This is why I went away from suction cups right here. Yeah, in my airplane I don't have any suction cups going on.
Option 349, turn right heading 160.
Yeah, VY is around 90, 92 knots or so, and when I'm going cross country, once I'm clear of obstacles, I'm at 105 knots. I just do an en-route climb immediately because you still get, you know, 600, 700 feet a minute or so.
Yeah, that's what there's no way I'm climbing. I'm in VY. There's no reason for it. I'm always in a cruise climb.
Especially when you pay for your own fuel.
Right. As I clear an obstacle, that's it. There's no more rushing.
I do a lot of flying out of Orlando Executive, and they'll keep you low at 1,500 and give you vectors to the north because they got all the airliner traffic coming into Orlando International. They're above you at around 2,500 or 3,000 or so. And
did you see my New Year's Day video when I was taking off all IMC?
I think I did, yes.
That's why I was stuck in. Everyone was like, why didn't you climb? You could see the tops. And that's the exact reason I didn't climb, because ATC wasn't going to let me because of Orlando.
Yep.
then by the time they're gonna let me climb, they let me climb and up to 6,000, and instantly they're bringing me back down because now I'm past Lakeland, and now they're bringing me back down. So they left me in the soup the entire time. So how long have you been flying?
I've been flying for 3 years now. Like I said, in between college I did ratings, and then when I was in college I would fly with the CFI to the local airport and just maintain my instrument skills or whatever skill I wanted to work on at the time. So.
And what made you get into flying? Have you always wanted to fly, or?
I've always been interested in airplanes, and one year my parents were at a silent auction, and for Christmas they got me a flight in a Chipmunk. It's an old 1940s, 50s tail dragger used by the RAF for training. And they gave it to me for Christmas, and I was hooked instantly after that.
So do they regret that decision, or are they excited about it?
They're glad that I found my passion, let's say that.
Good. What's your typical trip?
My typical trip is down to Orlando. My girlfriend lives down there.
That explains it all.
The furthest trip I've done in this is Craig, Charlie Romeo Golf, up to Indiana, India November Delta. That was to see my old flight instructor, who's now at Republic. I did it in 4 hours. Going up, I had a 50-knot headwind, so it took me 6 hours. But coming back, I had a 0-knot tailwind, so I did it in 4 hours without a fuel stop.
Nice.
So it gets up and it goes in it.
So what kind of true airspeed do you get on this, and what kind of range do you get on this?
4 hours, you get about an hour fuel left, so that's about my limit. So that was about, I want to say it was about 450 miles or so, 500 miles, gets you an hour left of fuel. And then true airspeed is about 150 or 155 up at altitude. Before we were burning about 16 gallons an hour at 10,000, 15 an hour at 12,000. Now it's going to change because we got the new fuel injector. We'll see what those numbers are.
And you hold a 40 aside, 80 total?
94 total.
94 total.
So basically, you got 2 tanks, an outboard tank and an inboard tank. 25 on the inboard, 22 on the outboard. So I got 94 total. Yeah, 22 inches because we're at max manifold 2500. We're getting 600 feet a minute at almost 8,000 feet.
Yeah, it's a nice flying airplane.
Lance gets up and goes. It's a workhorse. 3,600 pounds max takeoff. I can load this thing up with 1,500 pounds nearly with people and fuel.
Nice.
So basically, I can go to the Bahamas with 4 full-sized adults, full fuel, and Bahamas luggage.
And Bahamas luggage. So flip-flops and towels?
Flip-flops, towels, and bathing suits.
That's all you need.
You want to fly the airplane? Fly.
Well, sure, why not?
Alright, I'll disconnect it once you're ready.
Flight 745, 4 miles from Odrek, turn right heading 280, maintain VFR, cleared RNAV runway 3.
It looks like a beautiful day when you fly home.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of weather coming up, but hopefully that stays away.
Alright, you ready for flight controls?
Alright, my controls.
Your controls, autopilot's off.
Autopilot's away. And we're in trouble. But you know I just fly via autopilot?
It's a very smooth airplane though.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful airplane. A little hazy out there today. But
Yeah, it was pretty bad when I was coming up. So I'm not sure if that's the haze or is that the remnants of the smoke from the fires.
It was pretty clear yesterday. I'm pretty sure that's haze, but it should be blowing off here within the next hour. It's Florida.
So how often are you flying?
I try and fly every day now. I'm building some time in this because I need to be home every night for some family things. But so I try and fly every day in the morning. I might hang out at the airport a little bit, talk to some people. I got some friends building some vans, RVs, so I might watch them do that for a little bit. Then I go home, do the things I need to do around there.
So if you're flying every day, you know I had a breakfast meetup at Spruce.
I do know that, yeah. I unfortunately wasn't able to make it that day, but I remember talking to you about it.
This is where I'm guilting you.
Yep. I really wanted to go, but I had something come up.
No, that's all good.
And my grandfather, he's 97 years old. He's
that's awesome.
World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War vet. So I get to go home and hang out with him every day, which is fantastic.
That is fantastic. Family comes first.
Oh yeah.
Despite what anybody says, family comes first.
Always.
I can never fault you for that.
Nope.
mean I won't give you a hard time. It just means I can't fault you for it.
Yeah. He's a remarkable man. He had 150 hours in Korea. Did some aerobatic stuff.
Also, he flew. He was a pilot.
He was a captain in the Navy, and so we did ships, then he went and flew a little bit, and when the Navy said that the program was no longer, he came back to ships, and now he lives with us, 97 years old, and he was actually my first passenger when I got my private license.
Oh,
he flew the plane better than me.
Of course he did.
He was 94 years old at the time, 95 years old, 94. So yeah, it's not a hard plane to fly. Essentially the Lance is just a bigger Aero. I got 6 seats here, and I got 300 horsepower engine.
Yeah, I did my complex in the Aero.
Yep, I did mine in the Beechcraft Sierra. That was a horse.
Yeah, I like Pipers. Yeah, I did I did all my instrument training in a Warrior.
Same.
And so I did my private in the 172. Actually, I did my private in the 152. Then once I got my private, I then got checked out in the 172. Then once I got checked out in the 172, when I went and did my instrument, I did it in the Warrior, and I never looked back. I became a low-wing guy ever since.
Yep. Yeah, I started off in the 152, and then when I got my private license, it was about time for my girlfriend to come back, because we both went to Rollins College at the time. So I picked her up from the Orlando Sanford Airport in Piper Warrior, because I needed 3 seats and not 2. And I was like, man, this is nice, and I stayed with the Warrior ever since. I did my my instrument and commercial in the Warrior. And then I moved to a Grumman Cougar for my multi-engine. That was a lot of fun to fly.
Yeah, this thing is just solid. This is nice. It's a solid flying airplane.
A lot of the flight school planes you'll rent feel big vibration. This is feels like a little toy almost. I'll tell you, these Bose headsets too, they make it sound like a little toy.
Yeah, they don't hurt. Now in the in my airplane, I find that if I bring the power back, so your autopilot's off.
Right.
If I bring the power back 5 inches, and if I'm set for a level flight, right? So what's our indicated airspeed?
We're indicating about 145 right now.
So we're indicating about 145, right? So if I take my power, so if I take my power, we're currently about 20, about 21.
Yeah, 21 or 20 and a half.
All right, so I'm gonna bring it back. So let's just say I'm gonna bring it back to. I'll bring it back to like 16. We'll call it. And we're just sending. It was just went up because I moved it controls, but we're just saying about 500 feet a minute. So no need to retrim. No need to do anything. No need to push it over. Just by bringing the power back. Now as we continue to descend, if I just keep my power there, if you watch your EGTs, they will continue to stay where we need them to be. And,
1340.
and it's a perfect descent without retrimming. And then I'll show you once we get to, I'll pick an altitude and level off, just simply creep the power back in, and there's no retrim in your trim. You're set.
Yep.
And the other part about that is you see our airspeed?
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
150 true.
Right, so our airspeed hasn't really changed, even though we're in the descent. Opposed to pushing the nose down and you worrying about your speed creeping up and what have you. So it's just another way of doing it without, a single pilot. You're not having to chase
Yep.
everything constantly.
Alright. We're on the downwind, so once you're under 129 knots, I'll put the gear down. Alright, we're under 129 knots. The gear is coming down in transit. The 3 green.
3 green.
Alright, so everything's on. Gas is on the fullest tank. Gunner carriage 3 green, no red. Mixture prop is where I want it. You can get flaps at 106 knots.
Give me 1 notch.
Yeah, no faster than that. I like having these hand flaps.
Yeah. What's my approach speed?
About 80. And then short final 75.
500 feet, 3 green, we are clear land. Alright, you can go ahead and go flaps too.
A little quick. That would take out some power. Hey, we're at St. Augustine. We're in a long runway.
Not my prettiest.
That's alright, the
Not
last.
my worst.
4674, turn left at Bravo 2, contact ground.
Bravo 2 over to ground, 38674, thanks. Bravo 2.
Well, that was awesome, man. Thank you for inviting me on this little flight.
My
And
pleasure.
thank you for letting me land. You're a braver man than I am. So this was awesome. This is a great plane. I tell you what, it reminds me. It's been a while since I've flown a Piper, and it reminded me why I like it so much. So as always, guys, if you like these videos, be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Biggest thank you I can get is your subscription to my channel. And a special thank you to Alex. Thanks for
You're welcome.
inviting me and taking me along. This was
My pleasure.
awesome. It was a lot of fun.
It was. And I got some things I needed to do. I got to fly with Baron Pilot. It's a great day.
It was anticlimactic, wasn't it? You're like, really? This is it? This is Baron Pilot?
Oh, it was a great flight. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having someone with me. If I had to climb up there by myself, I would have been bored.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person I like to be going somewhere, so flying to nowhere is just not fun for me. But
Right. Yep. I understand.
so if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram on Beach Baron Pilot. And you want to give your social media out on Instagram, or no?
My Instagram is alex.zenny1. That was ZENNI.
So be sure to check him out and follow him on Instagram. Give him a special thank you on my behalf. Let him know how much we appreciate him letting us come along with him.
Man, it was my pleasure. I had a lot of fun today. There's the Marshall signaler.
Until next time, guys, stay safe. Dude, that was awesome. Thanks again for everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was my pleasure. I had a lot of fun.